This is Marissa, and I'm doing a follow-up video to my one from last week concerning me painting the kitchen cabinets. There were some tips and tricks that I hadn't touched on in my last video, and then there's some follow-up stuff. My paint tray, last time in the video, you saw my paint pad wrapped up in saran wrap by itself and the paint tray by itself. And this last time I got lazy and covered the whole thing in plastic wrap with the paint pad in the paint tray, and it worked out wonderfully. It sat there from Tuesday until today. And when I unwrapped it, it was just fine. The paint was still viable. I did add some more paint because I needed some more paint, but it worked out really great. Some of the tricks or tips or whatever that I wanted to share with you guys. I use this TV tray to move my paint tray around the kitchen. I don't have a whole lot of cabinet space due to different reasons, and so I couldn't just put this paint tray anywhere. It's a good, foot, 50, maybe 12 to 15 inches long, and so it's a little bit long to just put it anywhere in the kitchen. So I decided to put it on the TV tray. Worked out great. And then as I was painting, as I've been painting all this time, I've been taking a little cup of water and some Q-tips. And I'll take a Q-tip if I get some paint on the wall, like a little bit or a lot. If it's a little bit, I'll use the Q-tip, dip it in the water, and wipe it off the edge. If it's a lot of paint, I'll try to use some paper towels. I like to use these paper towels. These are Quill. I use these in my crafting as well. These things are fantastic. These are very similar to the blue shop towels that you can buy for your garage. They come in the grocery store. They're with all the other paper towels. They're a little bit pricier, but they are so totally worth it. They absorb so much more water and whatever else. But I take those, put them in some water, wipe off the majority of whatever paint got on the wall, and then use my Q-tip to do the detail work. So I am dealing with some drips and what looks like melting paint, almost like candle wax. It is because I put on too thick of a coat. So when you're using the paint pad, or even painting with a paintbrush, use thin coats. I didn't try to rush the job. I didn't try to go too fast. I just didn't realize how thick of a coat I was really putting on. And so I ended up putting way too much paint on there, and that's how I got these drips and what looks like melting cabinets. So now I went online and I found a website that told me some different tricks to use. One of them was to use sandpaper, 220 sandpaper. I got this at my local hardware store. Just use that, sanded down what I could. Another tip they said to do, or another way to get it, is to use your fingernail, or they even use razor blades. And I don't have any razor blades. I don't really care to use those. But I used my fingernail and just got underneath the drip and then pulled it up and then sanded it a little bit. This will need a little bit more sanding to kind of get that edge out. But it seemed to do the trick, obviously. So I'll paint over that a little bit. I might go with a paintbrush and do a little bit of filling in just to kind of maybe make it a little bit more even before I do other paint coats, but I don't know. I did try using the acetone fingernail polish remover. This can take off acrylic nails. So if anybody doesn't know what acrylic nails are made of, it is 2-part acrylic. That stuff is strong. So this works on pretty much everything. I tried to use this on the drips and it was just not working fast enough for me. So I decided to go ahead and forego that route. I tried using my Dremel, to do it, and it worked out about as well as I thought it was going to. It took the, drip off. I used it on some bigger drips. But it did kind of go through into the white part of the underneath the paint. Not bad, just a little bit. And so I decided that was not going to be the best route. But I figured, what the heck? What's the worst that could happen? And it wasn't any worse than me picking the paint off of the cabinet. I just didn't feel like doing it more than that. because I didn't feel like it was efficient enough. I did use this stuff. This is Citrus Strip. This stuff is fantastic. It's non-toxic. It smells like oranges. You can use it in a house without having to have like super duper ventilation. I still say crack a window if you're going to use this in a large application. However, I was just doing little small dots, so I wasn't too worried about it. This also worked a little too well. It did help bring down the drip when I sanded it and made it a whole lot easier to sand off. However, it did make it gummy. So I didn't really care for how this ended up. But it's a fantastic product. As you can see, I've used it before a lot and I really, really liked it. Also, when the paint dried, I got a drip on the molding of my mudroom door. And so I went ahead and took my Q-tip, dipped it in my acetone fingernail polish remover, and then held it on the drip. It was a tiny drip. Held it on there for about 10 seconds or so, and then wiped it right off. It didn't really affect the white paint very much. The white paint's on there a good amount, so I didn't figure it would hurt anything, and it worked super well. I was really pleased with that. Another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is on the cabinets where it meets the wall or the ceiling. I painted down with the paintbrush like this, and then it caused a line, almost like a speed bump of paint. It was pretty thick and pretty high and pretty drastic. And so all down that left side, it caused that line. And so what I did was, once I ran out of enough paint to paint on the wall, on the side there, I just take my paintbrush and just kind of feather it out. That's why you see all those swipe marks, just to kind of thin out that paint. So when I come back with subsequent layers, when I'm done painting the cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and I come back in with that paint pad, the smaller paint pad, or my paintbrush, then I won't have that drastic line telegraphing through my subsequent paint coats. The best way to have done the cabinet doors would have been to take them off. The only problem is the last time this was painted, they painted over all of the screws. When I took off that door over my microwave, I had to take the acetone and hold it with a Q-tip on here, and then for at least a couple of minutes, and then take a screwdriver and cut around the screw to get that paint loose, and then go in with the screwdriver and a flathead, teeny tiny flathead, and then scrape out all that paint, and then take the screw off. And it just took, I think it took like 20 minutes to get that cabinet door off. But if you don't have this problem, by all means, I suggest taking off your cabinet doors and painting them on a horizontal surface. You won't have to worry about the drip marks that I had to worry about. You can put those paint coats on really thick, and it may take longer to dry, but it'll look nicer. I have that cabinet door that I took off of here is sitting on my dining room table. Y'all saw it in my last video, and it looks great because it was able to lay down, and I could put as thick a paint coat as I wanted to, and it was fine. So I wish I could have done that with all the cabinet doors, but it is what it is. But so far, I'm pretty pleased with how everything's working. I will make another video with the final product, and y'all will see how it's all going to look all together. I'll make sure my cabinet countertops are all cleaned off and looking good. And also, if I have any follow-up tips or tricks or suggestions, I will put them in that video. Y'all take care. See you later. Bye.